What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Blindside Sports. My name is Emmett Douglas. Alongside me is Nick Wright. It's been a little bit since we have an episode, but hey, today's episode is going to be a good one because this wasn't even in our show notes, Nick, but around 45 minutes ago, a tweet came out saying that Antonio Brown is is in a standoff with police outside his house. There is rumored that Antonio Brown has weapons. I mean, I was really saw this today. I was telling my friend, I'm like, there's a warrant for Antonio Brown. Watch something crazy like this happen. And I mean, you hate to see it because, I mean, it's a lot of just it's domestic battery, if you guys are wondering what the warrant was for. But it's just a lot of resources just to, I don't know, it's always just like, come on, dude. You really have to waste the time here and make him sit outside your house and yell, hey, come out. You know that's what's going on. But it looks like Antonio Brown, Nick, we from after all this, I don't think we're going to hear about him like doing anything for a while because I don't think he'll be I think he'll be locked up. I mean, from what I've heard, this is probably one of the bigger legal situations he's been into. So just a crazy day in sports, along with the World Cup. We got Bills Patriots, which has a little bit of potential to be a good game. And then we had LeBron James questioning something last night, which we're going to get into later. But all around, a very diverse bunch of topics for the sports world. I mean, very diverse. But I want to lead with something here. By the way, Nick, welcome back to the show. How you doing, my guy?
Thank you. Good. And by the way, I just want to start out. I know you mentioned it in your little thing there. Team USA, baby. I've been waiting 8 years. Damn it, 8 long years. 8 years ago, Team USA was in the quote-unquote group of death. They made it out with a bunch of scrubs led by Dempsey, and it was just amazing. And I'm being revisionist history here, but 8 years ago, they were against Belgium, who would have even gone further into it, and Wondolowski skied an easy goal. And then 4 years later, they didn't qualify. And by the way, I was at the Fox Sports Studios on the board when the things that had to amount for USA not to qualify for the World Cup 4 years ago, like, I don't have it in front of me, but it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. There was like the fact that, I mean, of course, USA could have won just to get in, but there was like 3 other teams who lost, and the way they lost for USA, anyway, it was 4 years that we didn't see Christian Pulisic, who is and I love me some Landon Donovan, but Christian Pulisic is the greatest American soccer player ever. And now he showed out. He sacrificed his nuts. Literally, he got a nut shot to score a goal for them to advance. It was beautiful. And anyway, we got the Netherlands on Saturday. I'm feeling good. I mean, I tweeted this out. Emmett, you're way too young. I mean, even I was young for this. Herb Brooks, the greatest Team USA thing in American sports history was when USA beat Russia in 1980. That basically
that was before your time.
That was a scrub college team beating the Super Bowl champs. It's the most. I mean, they made a movie out of it, Miracle, because it literally was a miracle. I don't know. I mean, feeling that Greg Berhalter, coach of Team USA, I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think USA's got a real shot. I said that out of the way. Sorry. I feel like Hulk Hogan right now doing my USA dance. I mean, it's a good time. 4 years ago, sucked the soul out of my life when they didn't qualify. So I'm just, I had to get out of the way.
It's a very good time for the U.S. because nobody, I mean, they are always the underdogs in these games. Nobody expected them to do what they're going to do. And this is a really weird comparison, but I'm going to use it anyway. Kind of like the Phillies this year in baseball, where nobody expected them to beat the Mets the first round, I think. And then the Padres, and then they're going to make it far. And I don't know if USA is going to win the whole thing, but I have a good feeling they're going to make it far. So you love to see it. And something I find funny about the World Cup, and somebody tweeted this out the other day. It was like the people are when it comes to soccer, the USA gets so patriotic. Seems like it's the most patriotic USA's been about a sporting event in a very long time. I mean, Tuesday on Twitter after that USAW was probably the most untoxic Twitter's been. It was great. I kind of liked it.
Well, Emmett, here's the thing you got to think about. I mean, I was a wee lad. Were you born? I mean, the MLS, the men's team didn't come about until 1996. So when I see casuals on Twitter and social media, I'd be like, oh, why isn't Team USA as good as the women's and stuff? I don't know, because maybe other countries have other countries hate like they don't have rights for women, and the women's national team kind of has everything going in their favor, when the men's national team literally has not been a thing since the mid-90s, and when other countries have been doing it for a century, 100 years plus. So the fact that I don't want to hear about, oh, well, the women's national team has won World Cups, and men's. No. You're an idiot. I don't want to. That is the most mindless, idiotic thing ever. The women's national team is so privileged for them to have their World Cups. I'm not hating on them, but they should do what they're doing. That's good job. That's good. That great job. The fact that the men have not won is a big reason, because we've been doing it for about 20, maybe 30 years now, when other countries have been doing it for centuries.
Yeah, so it's just experience. That's
I mean, people don't want to say that out loud. Like I was in a Twitter thing earlier where it's like, oh, well, the women's are winning. Why aren't the men's winning? I don't know, because other countries hate their women and they don't have rights. Maybe. Yeah. I don't. I'll say it.
Yeah,
I'm saying it.
Yep, and we got the USA. They play the Netherlands on Saturday, as you said. That's going to be a good game. But let's go over to the other football, the Americanized football. All right,
American
not soccer,
football. Yeah,
football. Yep. And speaking of that, soccer, real quick. I'm sure Alex Tyshirt is in love with this. Very big World Cup guy. Tyshirt
scored. When Pulisic scored, me and Alex were just like going crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, Alex Tyshirt, FSR legend. If you're into anime, the Anime Senpai podcast that's made by him, he does great work. Go show it some love. I mean, he's one of the most positive people at FSR. Like he's
the most positive people in life. But
probably. I don't think that dude even has any negative thoughts through his mind. I mean, you know him better than I do. But yeah, speaking of a fun time, why don't we dive into this Russell Wilson situation? It's not a fun time for him because half his teammates showed up to his birthday party. Insane. And this is very interesting. Because I've seen a bunch of different people, like, Jeff Schwartz is like, they have practice on a Wednesday, it's their day off. He's lucky that half the team showed up. And I hear that.
Schwartz, come on, man. Oh, Schwartz said that? Oh, man.
Yeah. I get it. I can understand, you're an NFL player, but there's a difference between, sorry, Jeff, there's a difference between a Jeff Schwartz and a Russell Wilson, right? Jeff Schwartz is a lineman. Russell Wilson is a quarterback, not anymore, but one of the top quarterbacks in the game. Yeah. Well, not right now. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. A Hall of Fame quarterback.
Russell Wilson, Hall of Famer asterisk. I don't know. Like we're going to talk about more, but there's an asterisk at this point. But yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Denver for making that happen. But anyways, half his team didn't show up or went to the party, and that's a very small number apparently. And I think and then here's the football thing of it. There's people are starting to say that Russell Wilson has lost his Denver teammates. Nick, you think so? Or you think maybe Schwartz was right? I mean, it doesn't sound like you agree with him, but what you got?
Yeah. Did you see that play? Was it Purcell who just came up and just ripped him? Emmett, what are we doing here? Has he lost the locker room? This is one of the craziest sports stats that I can remember before last week. if Russell Wilson and that offense just put up 20 points per game, I mean, I think it's 19, but I'm just gonna, even give them the benefit of the doubt. 20 points per game, they'd be 9-1. Like, what the hell? It's insane. Of course, he lost the locker room. If he played like Russell Wilson, even half of what he was in Seattle, the Broncos. And by the way, I mean, I'm wrong on this. Denver again, and it comes back to that defense. That defense, it's a top 3 defense in the league. Yeah. And I thought, with Russell Wilson coming in, well, Russell's gonna. I mean, he has that defense. And can you imagine? I mean, again, we're gonna. I mean, I'm his biggest ball watcher ever, and we'll get into that later. Can you imagine if Justin Herbert was on that Broncos team right now? They'd be undefeated.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know Russell Wilson is he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's gonna get in, but at the same time, this really it hurts. It hurts his. I thought. He's definitely not a first ballot. This season alone, he ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Get that out. Get the hell out of the way. That was Pete Carroll in that Seahawks defense. And it's just, I think it's coming to fruition. And, people say, oh, well, it's his first year in Denver. It's a new offense. Hey, guess who else had a first year and a new offense when he was with a team for a million years? Phillip Rivers, who went 11-5
Tom Brady
with the Colts.
Tom Brady, who won a Super Bowl.
But Phillip Rivers with the Colts, getting them to the playoffs 11-5, and then he balled out in Kansas City, but they end up losing. And then you see what Matt Ryan's done, and and yes, of course, yes, the GOAT Tom Brady goes to. Jameis Winston. The fact so many people who had Jameis Winston as a good quarterback, and then Tom Brady goes there and wins them Super Bowl. But yes, this hurts Russell Wilson's legacy. No matter what people say, it hurts his legacy. The fact that he only has to do is just score 20 points a game, and they're literally almost undefeated. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, I've never seen anything like this.
I actually have another stat for you here. Did you know that Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his house than touchdowns this season?
Oh, my God.
And then another one I saw, too. The memes are very good about this, by the way. If you've scored more than 9 times since September 12th. They're talking about having sex, by the way. If you're not, if you don't get that, you scored more than Russell Wilson has touchdowns. The memes of how embarrassing this Broncos team is are absolutely great. And talking about legacy, when you brought it up, I didn't even see that stat. I don't know how I missed it about the scoring 19 points and they'd be 9-1. If you're defending Russell Wilson at this point, if you're defending Russ, you need to stop and you need to look at that stat and then you need to think about it again and be like, oh, why? Because I get that. Okay, Melvin Gordon's fumbled a couple times. They finally cut him, whatever. But you're Russell Wilson. This is just embarrassing. When he hasn't hit double-digit touchdowns and we're in week 13. Talk about just underwhelming. And yes, I think at this point, the Broncos teammates, his teammates, people like Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton or somebody on that defense, they're probably feeling clickbaited and wondering, what is Russ doing? Yes, Hackett is terrible. He's not doing good for Russ, but Russ isn't doing good for Hackett either. It's like a two evil situation. So I think that some of the guys are pretty lost with Russell, and they're doubting his abilities, and they have every right to, because it comes back to that one stat that Nick mentioned at the top of this monologue, that if the Broncos score more than 19 or 20 points a game, they'd be 9-1. I get offense hasn't been up to par this year. At least, I don't know if there's a stat proving that, but it just seems like it. I get that. But when you're Russell Wilson, who was in people's top 5s, even last year, after he had that finger situation and he missed time, people were still in his top 5. He was in my top 10. When you have a Hall of Famer level quarterback. You expect to win the Super Bowl. I mean, I picked the Broncos to be last in the division, and it wasn't even because of him not playing bad. It was just because I thought that division was way better, which I was wrong. I mean, kind of wrong about, because the Raiders aren't doing anything. The Chiefs, I think, have it close. Really, the only second place team that's going to catch up, I think, is Knicks Chargers. So Russ has definitely lost the locker room. 18 or what? I think the exact number is 18 players at the birthday party. When it's a quarterback, I feel like if you're in a good locker room, you're loving your quarterback. You're doing anything, and saying it was a day off. I believe Short said that in the tweet. Their day off. I don't get why more people didn't show up. If everyone was so down with Russell Wilson, they'd be at that party.
Emmett, here's the thing. Even if you don't like your quarterback, you got beef with someone. It's a PR move. You know what I mean? Like it's you got to show up, or it's gonna be weird if you don't show up. So the fact that half the team made that statement, be like, nah, I'm not coming to your birthday party. That speaks volumes.
Yes.
And there is a big problem in Denver. This is absolute mayhem.
Yeah. I mean, you were wrong. A couple people called it, but it's not looking good for Denver. You're going to is Hackett going to be there next year? I don't think so. And I think this is probably at this point. And I have to say, Denver, thank you so much for that good first-round pick. It's looking better and better each week. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I was going to say, you're the biggest – you're a big Seahawks guy. I mean, could that trade not go any better at this point? Oh, my God.
And Nick, you follow me on Twitter. You remember I was like, this is just I was saying we didn't get enough at the time. At this point, unless there's drastic change, we even – okay, let's say the Broncos – they finally get their shit together and do good next year. We still fleeced them. I mean, this is going to be a top 5, top 10 pick. This is we fleeced Denver.
Denver. I mean, it's a nightmare right now for Denver. They got Russ for 4 more years, baby. This is a
big contract.
This is why it comes down to: is this going to be the worst trade ever in NFL history? And yes, that's going to affect Russell Wilson's legacy. Because I'm trying to remember. Was it Mariota who was Denver's quarterback last year?
No, it was Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater. I get those two mixed up. I'm sorry.
Mariota was in Vegas. He's still in Vegas.
But, he's literally as bad as Teddy right now. Like, it's unbelievable.
No, I think Teddy was better.
Right? I mean, this is I've never seen anything like a superstar quarterback fall from grace so bad like Russell Wilson has, and it's going to affect his legacy. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because people were Russell Wilson was just very, 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 I wouldn't say, but as a player and as a quarterback, loved. I mean, top people before 2020, if you didn't have him in your top 10, I would consider you crazy. And that's not even me being a homer, because, I mean, you can admit it too. Most half logical football fans could admit that he was. This is a big hit on his legacy. Even if he does come back, and we're using this a lot, I don't really know if it's going to happen, because he's getting older every year. Even if he does come back, lead the Broncos to the Super Bowl. With how bad this has been, this is still going to put a little mark on his legacy. No matter what happens, that's how embarrassing this season was. I mean, failing, just scoring points. 21 points is respectable, and you can't even do that. They could have been competing with the Chiefs if they scored more than 20 points a game. I mean, it's just crazy to me. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright, Blindside Sports. Now, why don't we go over to last week in the NFL and some takeaways here? My main takeaway was, this was from watching the Seahawks game, and also something that I did quickly, because we'll start with the older takes first, because this was like a week ago on Thanksgiving, but it was still in that week. I realized, man, that the Cowboys, I was kind of thinking a couple weeks ago we talked about contenders, but after that Vikings absolute just stabbing of a game, mollywop as a great K-Fig would say, and then them, coming back, even though Dak had a little bit of a rusty game, I'm not saying they're gonna win it, but this is their year. I mean, the Rams, nothing. I mean, you think Brady's gonna come back? I mean, you said that a couple episodes and, lead the Bucs to the Super Bowl. I mean, Tom Brady does Tom Brady things, but it's, to me at this moment, the thing that I kind of realized after week 12 was my top two teams to advance to the Super Bowl, and this kind of leads to our other point of contenders, is I got the Cowboys and I got the Eagles out of the NFC. Those are my top two. The Buccaneers being a close third, but this is a thing. And I was telling somebody on Twitter this the other day, and it wasn't forced for the AFC contenders. It was what I said was, at this moment, like these are some, these look like they're gonna work. But the thing is with the NFL, if you had the Bengals, if you were on paper or on video of having the Bengals to win the Super Bowl last year, nobody did. So that's the thing with the NFL. Stuff like this does happen. It's way more common than the NBA. But at this point, after week 12, I learned that it's the Cowboys' year to do it. And if they can't, embarrassing. I mean, if they can't even make it out of the first round, embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even before the season, what kind of bugged me was that, like, everyone, the Cowboys are terrible. Like, really? Like, in that division? But then look at the Eagles. Like, nobody, even Eagles fans, saw that coming. Jalen Hurts making the leap that he's had. But it's not even Jalen Hurts who's made that leap. Every facet of the Eagles game, defense, special teams, running game. I mean, they are solid on every single front, and nobody saw that coming. But the Cowboys still, that defense that the Cowboys had, I didn't see coming either. I don't think anyone else did either. And everyone thought the Cowboys would not be a good team this year. And look at that. They had to use Cooper Rush for a couple games, and he got them wins. So, I mean, they're both good football teams. I love both of them. But Tom Brady plays in he's kind of been lucky with playing in a division where they're not that good.
No.
Yes, the Patriots for 10 plus years had they own that division because the Jets always stunk and etc. I know the Bucs just had a heartbreaking loss, but
on that Nick Chubb OT run.
Yep. And the Bucs are still, because of that division, and Tom Brady is going to win that division and go into the playoffs. And I said this our last show. And then Tom Brady is going to go against maybe Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Jimmy G. He's going to beat those guys. And again, I'm a Tom Brady guy. He's the greatest of all time for a reason. Until the wheels absolutely fall off, I'm not going to not believe in Tom Brady. And I really think the Bucs, once they're in the playoffs, are going to make noise. I really do.
Yeah.
I think I saw one of their guys went down, which is they have injuries galore, not like the Chargers, but they have injuries galore. But yes, NFC, Eagles, Cowboys, and I cannot wait for the playoffs to start, because I think the Bucs, just people are counting out Tom Brady right now, even though they're 5-6. Get ready. The GOAT's going to come back. He's going to come back. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I'm sure Rob Parker was very happy. But I'm sure, speaking of happy, why don't we go over to really fast here, since we're going over our takeaways. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright. He's on Twitter @isNickWright. Get me at EmmettNoC04. Emmett is with 2 M's and an I and 1 T. And Nosee, Nosee. So why don't we dive over to, and I believe I don't know why I'm blanking, but I believe the Commanders lost. Talk about one of the I don't think they're good, but for good records, talk about quietly approaching with a good record, the Washington Commanders, man. it's weird because I was watching a video the other day on Carson Wentz, and they're like talking about how Taylor Heineke's doing better now, and now that Carson, it looks like it's Heineke's team for the future, and I don't know where Wentz is going to end up next year, but the Commanders, man, sneakily, they're not going to win anything. That's not what I'm saying. They're
Come
not.
on, come on, Emmett. What are we doing? Taylor Heineke. I mean, they're a cute little team. It's very cute that they're above 500. Taylor Heineke can play quarterback in the NFL. Is he in the? He's
not Tom Brady now.
20. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? I mean, yeah, the Commanders are a cute little story. They're not going to compete with the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Exactly. And I was just saying that because it shocked me. Like cute little story is the perfect word, because I didn't even know that the Commanders were even in the mix. And like you said, and I completely agree with you, they're in the mix of good teams, kind of like the Giants, but they're not a good team. I mean, that the NFC East with the Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, and Giants.
By the way, just I hate to cut you off, but is the NFC East what the AFC West should have been? Because I thought like the AFC West. I mean, it's like a flip flop. Because I thought this AFC West was going to be the GOAT of all time, and now it's like the NFC East is the beast. Like, it's crazy.
And it's weird to argue, because you could argue, I mean, over expectance, that's what the AFC West is. But people were it's like a Uno reverse card, because people were arguing that the NFC East was the worst division in football. And now look at it. It's completely switched. I mean, they are like that division is loaded with good teams. I mean, the West, it's the Niners. The Niners have it. NFC West, by the way. NFC North looks like it's going to the Vikings. NFC South, I feel like I go is the Buccaneers. I mean, it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady always he knows when he needs to play clutch, right? Like, that's when Tom Brady does Tom Brady things. I mean, I'm going through the divisions here, and yes, I agree. NFC East is the best division in football, and they were, there's so much storylines out of this division. I mean, when you're talking about a cute little Commanders team, and when you're talking about a Giants, are the Giants frauds? Which, I mean, let's be real, they are.
Yes, they are. By the way, yes, they freaking are.
Oh my God! Talk
Daniel
about
Jones
luck, man.
Is Daniel Jones that they are playing so above their heads? I don't believe them for a second. If they make the playoffs, I mean,
I'm not gonna watch that wild card game. That's gonna be at least 45-0.
God, Daniel Jones, it's a waste of the space.
Well, it's
Giants.
It's weird.
The Giants are not a good team. They're not. The Giants and the Vikings. The Giants and the Vikings are frauds. They're fraudulent, and it's going to show that in the playoffs. I guarantee it.
I mean, Kirk Cousins always is fraudulent in the playoffs. I mean, that's it's. Yes. I'm sorry, Kurt. It just had to be said. You're always. I mean,
I like Kirk.
Can't really do.
I think Kirk
I do too. I do too.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. You stink in the playoffs. It is what it is.
And I mean, I will say though, O'Connell doing what he is doing for Minnesota is pretty impressive. I mean, first year coming from the Rams. I mean, not all that works being under somebody, and look at him. The McVay corner is working. I mean, we got over in Seattle Shane Waldron as offensive coordinator. Now we got Kevin O'Connell and the over in Minnesota. Like, it's working. And then the Shanahan tree is working too over in Miami with McDaniel. I mean, it's interesting to see, because you'd think that Bill Belichick would have all these guys under him that go in advance, but it's the polar opposite. I mean, Bill Belichick, and I think it's probably personality, because Bill Belichick's not a very warming opening guy. So I think that's kind of the difference there. But you really expect that people would be the Belichick tree would be a lot better than it was. I mean, Belichick tree is embarrassing.
It's pretty bad.
Yep. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright, Blindside Sports. The NFC East is the best division in football. So we were just talking about. Nick, what are some of your takeaways? I just gave a couple. So you can give a couple of the takeaways from Week 12. Very good week of football. Couple overtime games that came down to a touchdown run, including the Seahawks Raiders and the Buccaneers Browns. It was a great week of football.
was. But where am I going to take my first takeaway of the week? Oh, I think I know. How about the Chargers going for 2 against Arizona? How about that one? Here's the thing, and then let me set you up a little thing here. The Chargers are just obviously ravaged by injuries, right? That 3 quarters of football, the Chargers were absolutely dead in the water. They had no business even being in the game. But hey, guess what? And here's the thing, too. With only 2 minutes left, Brandon Staley, 4th and 21, the game was pretty much over. Even I was like, he punted? You might as well. I mean, the game's over. You might as well go for it, right? Guess what? He punted. And then the Chargers, 3 and out at the Arizona goal line to give Justin Herbert a minute left to come back. And guess what? Justin, even though there's some people in the media who says Justin Herbert isn't clutch, even though he has, I'll get into him just here. Don't you worry. He has 10 comeback wins, and guess what? Justin Herbert, not only did he come back and make a touchdown. Oh, Brandon Staley, and by the way, I know I'm an anti-Staley guy, but in that situation, you go for 2 and win the game. I don't care if Anthony Lynn was still the quarterback of the Chargers. You go for 2 to win that damn game. And they did. And Justin Herbert, in Justin Herbert-like fashion, just seamed the needles there right in between. And guess what? He has 10 comeback wins now. 5 more than Tua. 5 more than Jalen Hurts. And guess what? If it wasn't for, remember week 18 last year against the Raiders when we lost, when Justin Herbert went really Super Saiyan mode and the Chargers defense couldn't stop me on offense. And then let's even go 2 weeks ago against the Chiefs. Justin Herbert put them in the way to win with a minute left. But of course, Mahomes, in 30 seconds wipes them down. But it's Herbert's fault
magic,
that happened. So anyway, 10 comeback wins for Justin Herbert now, proving that he is clutch as hell, even though some other people in the media don't think so. And so my takeaway is the Chargers are still in the playoff hunt, baby. They're 6-5. This week against the Raiders is everything. Speaking of the Raiders, my big takeaway is that Brandon Staley.
How about the Raiders being favored in that game?
Because the whole year, Brandon Staley got his balls back by actually because the media got to him. I got to him. Everyone got to him because he went for it too much. But he finally went back to his ways. They beat Arizona somehow, some way, and I think if the Chargers beat the Raiders, and you know what, I don't want to look ahead of the Raiders, but the big talk, because I don't know why the NFL loves to do this, but they keep flexing the Chargers in the primetime games. So why? I don't know. I have no idea why. I don't like it. But Chargers, Dolphins, Tua, Herbert 2 weeks from now. Oh my God. Are we? I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Emmanuel Ocho is not ready.
Arnie's not ready.
So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. My takeaway was the Chargers winning that game in Arizona puts them back in the playoff hunt, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be the Chargers, the Jets, or the Patriots, and I definitely don't trust Mac Jones. Or Mike White. With Mike White now. He looks pretty good. He looks good.
Okay,
but
talk about
the Chargers control their destiny.
I get this Mike White thing. Sorry to cut you off. And the Chargers, that was a very great comeback right there. Brandon Staley finally, you said it lived up to the name that the Chargers need him to be. And if he can keep it up and just be more smart, and you hate to say it that way, but smarter choices on the play calling side of things, that game proved and what Brandon Staley was doing, like you said, that the Chargers could do something. I mean, you got Mike Williams out again 2 days in a row due to his ankle injury. I don't know how that's going to bode for you guys. Against the Raiders, you need him to be back. But yes, Chargers Dolphins is going to be one of the biggest primetime games of this year, because the narrative of her, and I actually support Tua more than you'd think I would. I'm not like I don't think he's like Herbert or Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts. Like, out of those four, I mean, I still think Tua's the bottom four, in the bottom. But that is going to be a great primetime game. And I think if I were you, I wouldn't be ready either, because that Dolphins team, it's the real test for the Dolphins. And they have 2 real tests in a row, Nick. And we'll get to this later.
Hold on.
But my Raiders.
This is what you say, though. Dolphins team, Emmett. Dolphins team. It ain't Tua. I mean, is Tua finally having? Here's the thing too that annoys me. Emmanuel Ocho is trying to just, because Speak's ratings are so bad, he needs every single click that he could possibly get.
Are the ratings really that bad on that show?
Dolphins and Chargers fans against each other. They're just pitting him against each other for his clicks and ratings because he needs it so badly. But I will say, is Tua making a leap this year? Absolutely. Did he get benched twice for Ryan Fitzpatrick a little? Yeah. I mean, and to say that Tua and Herbert right now is so insane. Like, besides insane, I don't have another word for it. I mean, yes, is Tua playing a great year this year? Yes, and we're only in week 13. Let's let it entire season or so. He hasn't proven me that he's even remotely Herbert's water boy at this point. Not to me. So, yes, Tua, let's see how you keep going. He looks good, even though he underthrows 80% of his balls, and he has literally the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL to make him actually be good and relevant at this point. Good job, Tua. Let's see if he can keep it up. But yes, he's making a big leap this year. And, yeah, I mean, and Justin Herbert, with even carried on his back his crane with fractured ribs. By the way, nobody mentions in the media, like, do people forget Justin Herbert is playing on fractured ribs? Like, I feel like everyone forgets that. Like, and he's still, by the way, Justin Herbert, top 5 in passing yards, and he hasn't had Mike Williams and Keenan Allen in one full game this entire freaking season. And he's top 5 in passing yards during DoorDash drivers who just delivered Mike Carlos Jr. an hour ago. It's ridiculous. And the fact that people like Emmanuel Ocho need I mean,
it's
I get Skip Bayless calling out maybe the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron, for his entire 20 years. Like, for someone to pick out Justin Herbert, the most humble player in the league,
right?
Who, I don't know.
Thank you.
Casually, just casually, just drops the. Like, I did a whole Twitter thing yesterday where, all right, and I'm taking over right now. I got to do this really quick because I can't take it. Can we remember that 2 years ago, Justin Herbert, week 2, 5 minutes before kickoff against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Anthony Lynn, hey, buddy, 5 minutes ago, hey, you're going in. And guess what? He balls out against the Chiefs. Did they win? No. But Justin Herbert being like, it's like a fat kid being fucking picked off for dodgeball. Like, I mean, I guess I'm going in now. Like, it's unbelievable. And then he had the 32nd worst offensive line in the league, a bottom 20 defense in the league, rookie of the year. Okay? And then last year, most bottom ranked defense. Justin Herbert has never had even a top 20 defense. Can you imagine? And you want what bugs me the most? That like, oh, Justin Herbert's never made like all these casual pieces of garbage. Oh, Justin Herbert's never made the playoffs. It's like he's been in the league for 8 years. He's been this is his third year. We're halfway through his third year, and he's never made the playoffs. Like, what are you talking about? And he's never even had, if he even had a mediocre defense, even in his rookie year, let's just say like 14th best defense in the league, his first year and last year. And it's looking like right now, because they're like the 25th best defense in the league. Oh, and by the way, to boot, their run defense, the worst in over 20 years. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I lined up against the Chargers, I could do 8 yards a carry. That's how bad they are. That's how horrible they are. And Justin Herbert with fractured ribs is keeping them afloat 6-5 on his back. And there's people like Emmanuel Ocho who somehow like he can't answer like a doing
it's embarrassing for sports media, Nick, and this is why that people are very opinionated on this.
To do a thing against LeBron, but for him to come after Justin Herbert for literally no reason, it makes no it's insanity.
Yeah, and another thing about this too, and the first, I think I just tuned out Acho's tweets until I saw this one last week, and this is one where I started to get in on the action with you. The Justin Herbert, a social media quarterback. Do you guys see Justin Herbert all over your TikTok feeds? Do you see Justin Herbert all over your Instagram feeds or your Twitter feeds or your face trash, as Jonas would say? No.
Oh,
I mean,
Emmett, really quick.
That's just
Emmett, really quick.
Go ahead.
A lot of people miss. I mean, I get his point. That's not his point. I know the Chargers did a backlash thing but the thing is, what he meant was that as a social media quarterback, that he makes all the flashy throws and sexy throws, but doesn't come up to wins. That was his point. And it's still wrong because he has 10 comeback wins in the fourth quarter. And it should be 12, actually, if the Chargers defense did their thing. Excuse me. But, no, I mean, that social media quarterback thing is ridiculous, but a lot of people, like, I get what he meant. It's not that, like, Justin Herbert isn't on social media. He just meant that, he has the social media throws and it's sexy on social media, even though he actually proves. And by the way, I got it. You know what? Emmanuel Ocho is one thing. The worst person on sports TV is Kevin Wildes of First Things First. He is the absolute.
He's so bad. You never even see First Things First tweet about it.
I love the famous Nick Wright. I love Chris Broussard. I love. Yeah, I love those guys. Kevin Wildes. He literally subtly, like I tweeted this like a while ago. He subtly is like he always like, oh, well, I see Justin Herbert make throws on TikTok and stuff like that, but not in the game. Like what? What are you? And then that was the week before Kansas City when he ran rampant, and then last week when he made a million throws to win the game. It's like Kevin Wildes, and then he even threw the poke out where it's like, oh, Justin Herbert's he's under 500 as a quarterback. What do we do? What is happening in sports TV today without context? Like people, everyone just has free reign to say stuff without context.
You know what it is, Nick?
It's unbelievable.
You know what it is, Nick?
He's under 500 as a quarterback. He's been in the league for 2.5 freaking years.
All right, I got two things. First of all, I was going to say this earlier when you brought up the Justin Herbert being in the league for 3 years, and you gave me another chance to say it. Did people forget what the word rookie quarterback meant? It's like people think that the rookie quarterback is just going to come out and be Tom freaking Brady immediately. and throw for
That's how
4,500,
people
50
think.
touchdowns.
It's like people think, oh, Herbert's never made the playoffs. Like he's been in the league for a decade. Like it's been 2.5 freaking years.
Yes, and most of these teams who have the bad draft picks have them for a reason. They get Herbert to start building their pieces together. They get that quarterback to build their pieces around. They're a rebuilding team. They're not gonna what'd you get? Sixth pick?
And can we account for the
injuries,
for the in-up coaching? We had Anthony Lynn, and now I've been trying to tell people for over a year, Brandon Staley ain't the guy.
No.
I know they've got that great win. He stinks. And the injuries. Like, I can keep showing you. I showed you this graphic a week ago, and it's still the same. They're the most injured team, like 32nd with a freaking bullet. Like, with a bullet. They're the 32nd injured team by a million miles from even 31. So it's just like what and Herbert's playing on fractured ribs, and people keep forgetting about that. It's like, what do you want this guy to do? Like, what do you want him to do? I mean, I can't take it.
Yeah, and my other comment that I was gonna say on, you talking about the sports TV guys, no context, and this is why I'm team radio. I said this on Twitter, and I got a couple thumbs up on this. I think they just go on TV because it's TV. You gotta add the drama. You gotta do that. You gotta piss people off. That's TV. I mean, we see those like reality TV shows. There's just a bunch of people just screaming at each other. I think they're trying to do that with the sports TV. Just to make as many people mad as possible. I mean,
they need clicks, man. They need clicks.
And
that's what sucks so bad. It's like at this point, like for ratings, and it's like you have to. I'll be honest. I don't think Acho believes what he says. I'm gonna be honest right now. I don't think he believes what he's saying. But you got to have this one token guy to make these ridiculous claims to get your views and your clicks and everything like that. And that's the state of sports TV right now, because it's not honest. It's not genuine. It's all fake. It's fugazi. It's garbage. And that's the state of sports TV right now, just to make people talk like what we're doing now. It's making me worked up. That's what they want, to make me.
Yeah, it's making me work. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then that's going to get more clicks.
It's disingenuous.
Yeah. And then us reacting to this is going to get them more clicks because people want to see.
But I mean, hey, right now, Speak on FS1 is literally out of 600 some odd stations, they're like in the bottom 500. So, he needs those clicks. I'll show you those clicks.
Brew and Nick Wright.
Joy Taylor is amazing, though. I just got to put that in there. Joy Taylor is great.
Joy Taylor, yeah. She shout out Joy Taylor. I she's too big time to come on this show, but yeah, she's
yeah.
I think you worked with her back in the day, though.
No, I did. Nope. Yeah. Nope. Yep. Her and Mark. Her first thing was her and Mark Willard co-hosting on the weekends. And
Willard's back over there now too. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Now she's in the high times. Like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, back when I was at Fox Sports Radio, like, I saw all the people before they were famous. And Joy
Fox
Taylor
scoops up those guys, man. They do. They
scoop
up those guys.
I mean, Joy Taylor always. I mean, like when I was behind the board, and there's like, you go into the studio if you want to, and like she'd always talk to me about. Joy Taylor deserves that. I wish the show was more popular.
I agree.
It's not like they're going away, but Joy Taylor is amazing, and I hope
I miss her on the spot with Cowherd, and I'm a J-Mac guy. I really like J-Mac.
Oh well, but no, I'm a J-Mac. I mean, I'm so happy McIntyre is there.
I know, because his Straight Fire pod, I mean, with Rob G was always a hit. His the Jason McIntyre show on Fox, always waking up to that on the Saturday mornings, was always he's informed, and he's one of those guys who doesn't BS. I mean, he says what he says. Like, he believes it. He's a super good guy too. Family man. I mean, he can't say anything negative about J-Mac. I mean, I think that guy should get a show on TV. I mean
he's. I will say this because I know him. He's aloof. I mean, he's a little. He can be out there, and he knows.
Oh, I'm not good. There's some takes. There's some takes. Yeah. I'm like, J-Mac.
I just think that even though Joy Taylor is so, I mean, it's like it's not a downgrade or an upgrade. Joy Taylor deserved to get her own
They both
slot on
deserve
a
what they
TV
got.
show. And then J-Mac, I think J-Mac, I mean, I'm a slave, to sports stuff. So I always watch Cowherd. And, I think J-Mac is the perfect person to, bounce off him.
Yeah, because he comes in with his lines, his bets he makes,
Yeah.
or the
he finds his stats. Do you remember the scrub even before Joy Taylor, who was literally the worst thing on the planet? I forgot. It was some blonde white chick, and she was just
I don't even remember.
Worst. She got her own show. She got her own show that got canceled immediately. I'm sorry. I hate to. It's
like her name was like
I'm a bad person
or something.
She was terrible. And anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it takes more than one time to get the perfect fit. I mean, that could happen.
I'm just glad the Fox saw that because, like, good God, I remember complaining to Lee DeLapp and Gavin and Robert, and I was like, why is she on here right now? And this is like 5-6 years ago, and then they wisened up and got Joy and now J-Mac. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm done ranting about that. All right, what else?
We went on a whole tangent with the sports media.
I know,
but
it
needs to be talked. It needs to be talked about, man. It's just getting. I feel like it's gonna come to the point where I'm gonna log on to Twitter and I'm gonna see like Patrick Mahomes is like worse than Geno or something. Like it's getting to that point. Like it gets worse every year. No, that was an exaggeration. But I just couldn't think of anything too stupid. Like. Whoever the producers are, because I've always said this too. Some of the TV just doesn't seem legit. Whoever these producers are really good at scripting stuff. Whoever makes the scripts, man, they're really good. But other takeaways from Week 12, Nick, the Seahawks-Raiders game. And Pete Carroll, I was going to get into this earlier, and then we got on our perfect tangent.
You guys had it.
Yeah. And then Josh Jacobs, 86-yard touchdown run. I mean, I can't even be mad at this. Like, 86 yards. I mean, that was just
I'm mad about it for you. Come on.
I'm mad that we couldn't score on that first drive, man. I mean, because that's when I wanted to secure it. Because am I, like, confusing this here? Or did we get the punt? Or they got ball, and then we stopped them, and then we got ball, punted, and then that's when Josh Jacobs broke his 86-yard run the first play. Like, that was just, But, like, at the Jacobs thing, I couldn't really be mad at that. But one thing I will say is Pete Carroll, he did come out and say this, and it was just how Josh Jacobs is just bullying us. And he said, when it comes to more focus on, because they put a lot of focus on Devontae Adams, apparently. When it comes to more focus on Devontae, like, what happened with the run is going to happen. Which I was just like, I don't know. Like, it's just Josh Jacobs has had his career year. You could have. I feel like he's more scary than Devontae, even before this week.
I mean, yeah. I mean, how do you think I feel? Chargers literally have the worst run defense in 20 years, and then we got Josh Jacobs coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, this is this Sunday for the Chargers against the Raiders. It's going to be a gauntlet. It's going to be brutal. I mean, and the Chargers center, Corey Linsley, all-pro, one of the best centers ever, he is probably not going to play. So, I mean, then you got Max Crosby.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not feeling great about the Chargers. I mean, if the Chargers can win this weekend, then, the world's open. I mean, the fact that Herbert's going to – I mean, against – the Cardinals and Herbert's broken ribs, he got hit like 20 times that game. Like, he was assaulted every freaking down, basically. And now he's going to be out. That was center. The right tackle, Pipkins, isn't looking good either. I mean, Max Crosby might have a freaking day, along with Josh Jacobs against literally the worst run defense in 20 years. I mean, my wife, my wife's father, like I've I'm probably going to be at his house this weekend, and I've been to his house. We go to a lot of Chargers when it's the Chargers Raiders.
He's a
the
Raider
biggest
guy?
Raiders fans of all time,
Yeah.
and and my wife wants to go there this Sunday. I'm like, it's not like I don't want to go, but it's like I've been there like 4 times when it's the Chargers against the Raiders, and they've lost literally
She just wants to see
every
you
time,
struggle, man.
including Week 18. So it's just like, I mean, I'm not feeling good. If the Chargers can somehow pull this off, and that's the thing too, as a Charger fan, we have the Raiders this week, and then it's like the showdown of all showdowns against Tua and the Dolphins in prime time the week after. It's like it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, we got the Seahawks got the Rams, but we got a good. I mean, our schedule very quickly, and then we're gonna get into some games, and then we're gonna get out of here. The Seahawks, man, they got like the Rams twice, the Niners once, the Chiefs.
I mean, hey, you got the Rams twice. I mean, it looks like they're about to
no Aaron Donald today on Sunday.
They're going to shut down Aaron Donald and Stafford potentially. Like that should be 2 dubs right there. You should be good. And
then it's the Chiefs, the Niners, but I think both of those could be L's. People are saying we could split take the Niners because we're at home, but I don't know.
You're gonna get. I'm sorry, mate. The Niners are gonna shred you. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be the game that puts that's gonna be another bad Geno game.
But I have the Niners going to the Super Bowl at this point. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Interesting. Why do I always keep they're my with the Cowboys, Eagles, and Niners and Bucks. Those are my 4. But I don't know. I don't know if I can trust Jimmy G. That's what it comes down to, man. Because let's be real here. If Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, and that special teams didn't have that all-time collapse at home after their bye week, I mean, they shouldn't have made it. I mean, the Cowboys almost came back and won that game in the wild card that year also. I mean, it I don't know. I just don't know if I could trust Jimmy G, but we have this game relates to the NFL playoffs because I'll lead with it. Week 13 games there's a pretty good slate, but I'm leading with the AFC Championship for our picks of last year, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs are favored to beat the Bengals by 2 points. And your over/under is 53 in this one.
On the road. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. This is a game I'm very excited for.
Yes.
We got Mahomes versus Burrow.
Little Burrow Mahomes action. Yep, me too.
Yep. We got is Jamar Chase coming back for that? Because that's huge. I know it's been around 4 weeks. Like
good. I don't believe he's gonna be back.
No. So if he's not back, that's not it for the Bengals. I think it's still gonna be close. Like the Bengals have kept it close. Joe Mixon is there an update on him either? Like is he? I know he's battling a concussion.
Oh yeah, old girl punching Joe Mixon. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
remember that?
So,
I didn't forget about it.
No,
yeah. No, I will never touch Joe Mixon in a fantasy league ever again after that. But yeah, and people forget about it. He cold cocked a woman. Like people forget about that. Anyway,
did you forget about Kareem Hunt?
Oh, of course not. I'm not interacting either. Okay. No. People love to forget about it, but yeah.
Anyways,
sorry.
Okay, no, it had to be said.
Sorry.
Hey, respect women. All right, at least we have that. You know, in 2022, some people, you know, we have to have that because we're good people. Not everybody is, but hey, the Chiefs are favored to beat the Bengals by 2 points, and this comes down to how. Like, I think this is going to be a fun game no matter what. But if Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase are out for the Bengals, there's virtually no shot in them winning it. And even so, it's going to be a close game, even if they do play. I still see the Chiefs winning it. Mahomes, after losing the way that he did in the AFC Championship, I don't think he's going. He's going to come with fire to play Joe Burrow. He's going to come angry. Give me the Chiefs in this one, and I will take the over 31-24. It's going to be the Chiefs by a touchdown, Nick.
Ooh. All right, you know what? Even though I'm not a Burrow, I mean, I like Joe Burrow. I understand how good he is, but I'm not a big fan of his. At home, I think Joe Burrow is going to make a statement here. Be like, oh, Chiefs coming to my house. I got to prove that I'm on top with the Mahomes boys and, the people and the quarterbacks like that. Nope. Give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals winning by a field goal. 30-27.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, I hate to admit it because, it used to be the Burrow Herbert debate. I guess now it's like Tua Herbert. I don't know. My mom and Herbert. It's gonna be anybody at this point. But no, I think Joe Burrow is gonna make a statement against the Chiefs. I think he's gonna play well. I got the Bengals against the Chiefs.
All right. Why don't we go over to the Philadelphia Eagles and Tennessee Titans? And the Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 4.5. What I will say for the gambling folks out there is I wouldn't be shocked if this game was more close than it was because the Eagles have been in these really just weird fights. I mean, the Colts game back a couple weeks ago, and then their loss to the Command.
I got something for you.
What's up?
Oh no, I'm just saying right now. I think the Eagles are going to win this game, and I think the Eagles are going to look really great up until week 1, round 1 of the playoffs, I should say.
Interesting.
Call me a hater. I mean, there's no numbers to back me up. There's nothing that I can say to prove anything. There's something about the Eagles that I just think in the playoffs they're gonna choke. And
so it's like my gut feeling with the Niners. It's kind of same thing.
Oh well, trust you're gonna be wrong about that one. I promise you. But there's something about the Eagles that just, man. I mean, it's about Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. That's what it comes down to.
We saw one game, and
buy it.
I hear you. I understand, and I know. By
the way, Emmett,
with Kyler Murray, and me on Kyler, but I think Jalen Hurts. I think he's one of those guys who proves his doubters. I think Jalen Hurts, after him losing to Tom Brady, he's gonna come out angry. I can see him doing something.
By the way, Emmett, what's your? I mean, here's my only thing: if McCaffrey is healthy, there is no stopping the Niners. What's your hesitation on the Niners? Jimmy G?
It's all Jimmy G,
huh.
And also. McCaffrey being healthy is actually a part of it too because
I think he's going to be. I mean, if he's healthy, there's no. I mean,
do I could see the Niners making a championship or something. I could see him doing that. But what I think is going to end up happening is they're going to keep it close. They're the Niners. They're going to do that. It's just going to come down to that last drive and Jimmy G does something.
You know what, Emmett? It's funny. My wife is the biggest Niners fan of all time. You know what's a funny story? When I first started dating her a couple months in was that Super Bowl against the Niners and the Chiefs. And I was at this Super Bowl party with her, with all these people that, I didn't know. And I was trying to tell her,
you had to.
The Niners were ahead. I'm like, oh my God, they got this. You got this. You got this. And then Jimmy G threw that pick in the fourth quarter. I'm like, and it was just brutal. And, and at this point, I just think Jimmy G has matured. I think all he has to do is he's not going to make a big Justin Herbert play, a big Aaron Rodgers play. Just play. I mean, he learned his lesson on that throw. I don't think he's going to do it again.
Playoffs come down.
Do you want to do our? I mean, I got my Super Bowl picks right now. I got them loaded in my holster here. Do you have your Super Bowl picks ready right now?
Not right now, but you can give yours.
Oh,
come on. I've been torn on the AFC, man. I really have. I mean, I've been so torn because I've had a couple results because I could see the Chiefs doing it. I really could. I could see the Chiefs Dolphins making the AFC Championship. I could see Mahomes winning that one. I think the favorite at this point of what I'm leaning towards, and maybe I will have an official pick. maybe I will. And we might have to put a. Have you heard of a DoorDash bet?
Spoiler alert!
I know you're picking Buccaneers. Or no, Niners.
Nope, I'm not. I think Brady's gonna go to the NFC Championship game. Guess what? I'm doing it right now. We got a rematch. Just what I talked about a second ago. I think we're gonna get a rematch of the Niners Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and it's gonna be epic, and I can't wait.
All right, we're in agreement on the Chiefs. I mean, I could see the Niners Chiefs. That would be great. I think that would be great. I'd also want to see an Eagles Chiefs one. I will make a video. I will have the Super Bowl prediction out on by the end of the week. I'll post it. I'll send it to you. But when I have my official, because I'm so torn on this. Like the Chiefs, the more I talk about it, the more I'm picking them, as you can tell. But the NFC, that's the team I'm torn on because like the Cowboys, Dak, but they have that defense, and defense wins championships. You got the Niners who have Jimmy G, who I don't completely trust, and I don't trust McCaffrey's body. I trust McCaffrey. I think if McCaffrey is healthy, then that's what it's gonna be. And the Eagles. I have that feeling that Hurts is going to come ready to play. So you know what? I'll give you an official Super Bowl pick because I don't feel too bad about myself for this one. And
let's go. What do you got?
Before we should have done this before we gave yours. What was your pick at the start of the season? Because
very start of the season.
Yeah, if we were talking in September right now, before week 1, who would you have said was making the Super Bowl?
Week 1, I would have said Bucks Chiefs.
Okay, so you're still relatively there.
I'm a Charger fan. Mahomes is him. I don't like that.
I agree.
Mahomes is him. Like he's just too freaking good. I always had the Chiefs, and I had a rematch of Brady and Mahomes, but now with the Niners getting McCaffrey, I think it's gonna be a rematch of Jimmy G and Mahomes.
Yeah, I'll go Eagles Chiefs. I really think that Jalen Hurts is gonna come in and show the Nick Wrights of the world that he can ball out in the playoffs. I mean, I was gonna say it earlier. I mean,
all right,
Kyler Murray doesn't have that dog in him because you know me, and I've been one of Kyler's biggest criticizers. You know that. Anyone who follows me on Twitter knows that. I think there's a difference in Kyler and Jalen Hurts. I know that wild card was ugly. It was even more ugly for Kyler. I think Jalen can do it. I just something with Jimmy. And if we really wanted to, for the NFC, because we seem to be in agreement on the AFC, we could do like a bet on this because I mean, have you heard the DoorDash bet, Nick, where you send someone money and they have to buy dinner if the other person wins?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do a DoorDash bet. Somebody, I'll put it in your phone right now. Put it in mine.
Sure.
I have another bet also with Bo Benson. Well, it's not directly Bo Benson, but the odds of it. This is, and I foolishly said this, even though I think they're gonna make the AFC Championship. But you remember right when Tua came back from injury, and the Dolphins played that Sunday night game. Arnie, who is the biggest Dolphins homer I know. It was like, the Dolphins are gonna make the Super Bowl, and I was like,
he flip flops a lot, but yeah, kind of, yeah.
He's still a Dolphins homer. I mean, from if it's bad after September, the first weekend of football in September, he's gonna switch his team. But he's been a Dolphins homer this year because he's a Dolphins fan, like usually.
Well, of course.
Yeah, and he was the Dolphins are gonna make the Super Bowl, Chris. It's gonna happen. This is a year. I texted Bo on Twitter. I'm like, I will buy the board op, the Sager, and you, and whoever's like, if Plank's in studio that week or Arnie is, I'll buy them pizza on that game. Like I just to reward Arnie for being right because I was like, there's no. This is back when like the Bills were still in question and all that before the Bills kind of collapsed and. Obviously, we still have the Chiefs. There's just so many good teams. This is back before the AFC this whole being open in the AFC kind of changed right when the Bills collapsed. But yes, I'm down to do a DoorDash bet on that if you're down. I got the Eagles versus the Chiefs, and my guy Nick Wright at @isnickright on Twitter has the Niners and the Chiefs. I'll book this and post it on Twitter later, and I'll bookmark it, set a reminder. So if this does happen, and then if the Eagles or the Niners make it, then one of us has to pay up. I'm sure we'll bet on the game too. I mean, at that point. But why don't we? Oh yeah, we didn't give our Titans Eagles picks. Bad job by us. Titans Eagles. Eagles are favored by 4.5, and you said it. I think the Eagles are going to win. I wouldn't be shocked since back to my gambling thing. If you're a gambler, I taking the Titans like just the points, like the spread to lose by less than 4.5. I wouldn't be shocked with how weird the Eagles have been lately if it was closer than we expect. Because on paper, you think, all right, yeah, the Eagles are going to smack around Ryan Tannehill in that offense. But Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry.
No.
Give me the Eagles.
I'm going to Nostradamus this thing right now. I'm not going to bet against the Eagles the rest of the season. They're going to win. 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 Playoff time. Hold. I'm calling it right now. The Eagles can. Yes, I think the Eagles are going to beat the Titans. To your point. When it comes to week one of the playoffs, man, I can't wait because I'm going to tell you and I'm going to tell everyone else that they're frauds. Again, I'm just saying this like a maniac. Like I have no numbers to support me. I have nothing to support this. It's just in my heart. I just don't think that the Eagles are what they are. That's what I think.
We are a couple minutes away from kickoff of the Thursday night game. So
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right, Nick, Patriots or Bills? Quickly.
Here's what I say. Mac Jones is a scrub. He's terrible. But I will say last Thursday on Thanksgiving, he looked like an NFL quarterback. Not a great NFL quarterback, but he put up a 300, a touchdown. Like he actually finally looked
no
like
Von Miller, by the way,
quarterback for the first time in his entire career.
I know. How about that?
And amazing. And still, Josh Allen's going to get back on track. Everyone's poo-pooing Josh Allen, his red zone turnovers,
Josh Allen,
interceptions, which is
other than that has been great. That's
I think this is going to be a Bills beat down on the Patriots. I got the Bills 34, Patriots 20.
And it's interesting you say this, and I didn't even realize this till now. I'll take the Bills in this one, 38-28. I think the defense could have. I could see not Mac Jones, but the rushing side of things have Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris. They could do something. But what I will say, and I didn't even realize this, is both these teams have had exactly a week off. I mean, I was about to say, I kind of forgot both these teams played on Thanksgiving because. Now, I was about to use the shorter week to say something, but no, both these teams have a week off. It's a fair and square matchup, man. They're both on 7 days rest. The Bills are missing Von Miller. People are saying this has potential to be a good game. I feel like it's regular season, doesn't really matter, but I'm picking it closer than it could be. It has potential to be a lot worse. Nick, it has been a fun show. We got to get out of here because no one wants to listen to us when there's football on. Let's be real. If anyone's listening, but we got to watch it too. We're trying to watch the game, but if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like on the video. Me and Nick have a Grubhub DoorDash bet with the Super Bowl. He has the Niners, Chiefs. I have the Eagles, Chiefs.
Yeah, get ready. You're gonna order me some In-N-Out pretty soon. I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where I'm gonna go. On Nick. I don't know what Nick is gonna pay for. But if you guys enjoy this, I'm not gonna go too crazy. If you guys don't know it, no, I'm not gonna. Nick or I's not gonna order 8 filet mignons to one of our houses. No, it's a simple one meal kind of bet.
I just want a double with some animal fries.
Of course, yeah. You gotta get the drink. You gotta get the drink.
Can't wait.
Yep. I can't wait for my food. I don't know if you're not.
What do you get? What, by the way, what you keep saying? Like, what do you get? Like Jack in the Box? Like Del Taco? Like what do you?
Probably Del Taco because it's on the other side of town. I don't get it often.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be mad at that. I just had Del Taco last night. I can't wait.
I had KFC before the show. It was great.
All right.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like. I'm gonna be there's a lot of stuff I actually want to grab from this show and post because we had a very good show today. So go follow the social medias. I'll put those in the comments. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, follow the socials, both mine and Nick's, because you guys Charge with Raiders is going to be very interesting for Nick on Sunday. I there could be some Twitter meltdowns happening. So if you go follow him. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Super fun show today. See ya.